Hello, hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Atlas is being a squeamish little guy tonight. He's like all
Aw,
up in my face. So we'll see
we'll
how
see
long he
him.
lasts up here on my lap for sprints or if he goes off to do his own thing later. How are you, Clementine?
I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, um, not a whole lot. I did not do a whole lot today. I did read, but I was hoping, because in the sprints I did show that I would, and I was intending to start this one right now. But I do, however, have not been able to finish The House of Always. Although I'm really close, right? I'm
Mm,
70 pages from the end, which for this book is still there's still like 3 hours and 30 minutes of the audiobook, right? So like two sprints should be fine at my listening speed, because I'm really long. I also have like a buddy read of sorcery and small magics, right, that I'm doing.
good book.
But this one is like quick enough to read. Uh, but I will probably leave it for tomorrow morning that I can read it. Because I'm usually talking, around noon-ish with my friend. So I can start Elantris as soon as I finish this one. But if I'm feeling really tired with the high fantasy and everything, I might not be able to start, so we'll see. But and in
That
such
makes
case, I
sense.
will go to the other one. How are you? How was your day?
I'm good. My day was busy. And Mondays always are at the school. It was even busier than most. So
Hmm.
I'm definitely ready for a little bit of relaxation. I
That's
started
good.
The Phoenix Keeper yesterday, which
Hmm.
is a debut, like cozy fantasy that came out last year. It's about a girl who is like, it's essentially an our world. They have like cell phones and stuff, but there are also magical animals, and she works at a zoo for magical animals in like trying to support species that are close to becoming extinct. So she takes care of phoenixes, and she's like trying to get a breeding program started. So she's like caring for the phoenixes, and there are some interpersonal dynamics with the other people who work with her at the zoo. Yeah, it's really it's cute. I would not say it's stellar. It's not like a must read, but one of my goals for this year is to read more debut novels, and it's a debut that came up just as like a recommendation on the internet that when I was watching a video the other day. So I figured I would pick it up and try it, and it's largely okay. It's very sweet. If you're okay reading about like an awkward main character, it's kind of cute.
Did it come out last year? Because I seem to have seen like I think it was in one of those like special edition kind of
Yes,
boxes
it did.
subscriptions.
To just
That's
to
how.
clarify, my definition of like debuts is an author whose second book has not yet come out. So like that's who I'm classifying as a debut author right now. So if they had a book that came out in 2022 and their next one has not been announced or is going to be released in 2025, like later, I'm still counting them as like currently a debut
Mhm.
author because they only have one book out.
Sure.
Those are the authors that I'm looking for. Um, yep.
Good. I didn't know. I thought with the covers and everything and the name of the book, I really didn't think it was an urban kind of setting,
Me
fantasy sort of.
neither. I didn't, and
That's
I went into it kind
yeah.
of sight unseen.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah,
Okay. Good to know.
it is a cool cover. I like the cover. I don't think the
Yeah.
cover particularly matches the story, but
Now that you tell me this, I'm like that's like a little bit,
it's a little bit
weird.
misleading.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I think that's true about a lot of covers recently. I just feel
There's
like
yeah.
fantasy covers have been missing the mark a little bit. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
here
and I
and
mean
there. Not super often, but every once in a
there's
while.
also some covers that I could show like some covers where it's just a weapon and you're like, "Yep, okay, but
Okay, but I mean, it does say like, kind of stereotypical fantasy
yeah,
novel, which I think
yeah.
is fine for most books. Like, I think if that's what it is, a stereotypical fantasy novel, then I think it's fine. I think
Sure.
the cover for Sorcery and Small Magics is really good and like sells that book pretty accurately to what
Mm.
it is. The covers may be a little bit more serious than the book is because the book's actually
You
kind of
mean this
funny.
one?
Yeah. but I think that cover does a pretty good job.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty. I mean, you can see like a little bit of a whimsy. You have the pen and the quill and like the animals and like
but like the whole vibe is
the
like
violin.
the
Yeah, I think
vibe
the
is the vibe.
vibe also is good. Even like because I have this special edition for this book, right? And they have like a sort of alternate cover art kind of thing. Can't see it
Gotcha.
very well like that, but like yeah. And I
I
think
almost
even
feel
that.
feel like that's more serious than the book actually is, like the inside cover art. Um,
Yeah, sometimes it does, but also it's fine because it's an alternate cover, so it's not like it's not meant to be
yeah,
like
yeah, it's not what
the
they're
full thing. Also, I think like the end papers seem like a little bit more whimsy, just because like if you see this one, it does have foiling on it, and it is kind of cute. The kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But I think even for like the average person just picking up based on the cover on that one, like I think
sure.
the people who pick up that cover would probably end up enjoying that book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, I'm not sure that Phoenix Keeper is like sells
Yeah,
to
but
the right
I'm saying the
audience.
same for like I was misled with like Emily Wilde, for example, because like the US and UK cover are fairly different in their vibes already, but I got the UK, special edition and stuff, which seemed like really cutesy, like with a bunch of like little objects and everything and stuff. And like also with everything that it was sold to me as a cozy fantasy, and I was really not expecting the eerie kind of nearly or horror elements in there, right? Because there are some very eerie, when you go to the Fey world, it's really like
Sure.
the really like disturbing Fey stories that you hear, about the Fey that control people to dance until, their feet bleed, for example, or stuff like that, right? So but also I understand that it's a hard concept because there is like most of a book is this cozy kind of thing, and there's this just like really
Yeah,
different
and I
feeling.
still
So
think those covers. I mean, I haven't like I made it only a little bit into the first one. I didn't feel necessarily misled by those covers. This came up for me last week with a conspiracy of truths, which is like much
mhm.
funnier than the cover is, and now Phoenix Keeper is much more modern than the cover is. So I think I'm just like on the struggle bus with picking up books that I haven't read the description of and being like surprised by what's inside of them. But maybe I just, should
Yeah,
actually read
yeah.
description. But I'm not in a bad way. Like I think both of those surprises were fine.
No,
Neutral.
and I think in a lot of ways, like a lot of the covers, you don't. I mean, it's really hard to have a cover that would represent all the book anyway, right? Um,
I think that's true. I think you can get a general vibe. And I
yeah,
think that like especially genre conventions, like there are genre conventions for a
yes,
reason. It's so that the like it's a marketing tool, right? So that the
yeah,
right people are
yeah,
actually accessing your work.
definitely.
And I think that books can actually really fail off of a cover if it's being sold to the wrong
Hmm.
people,
Yeah.
which is
Well, I mean,
tragic.
same also if they start also to be like promoted as like another genre and they're like misled or like like even like I would say not as much, but like if you say that it's more like an adult fantasy and it's leaning very YA in some senses, then of course people are gonna take it and they're gonna start reading it. Then they're gonna say like, "Huh? It reads like a YA, right?"
Yeah,
So like,
yeah. I'd say the cover thing is a more subtle version of what you're talking
yeah,
about, where it's actually marketed and sold in what a reader might think is the incorrect genre area or age
well, I
category.
mean, the problem also is that some books are in the middle of some things, right?
Sure. Which
And
makes them hard to market. Like
yeah,
that's
it does.
it's
It
just a
does.
problem.
And then
Yeah.
it's makes sense that the publisher has to sell it in one area and the other, but they would never be happy in one or the other because there would always be people saying like, "No, it's not. It's the other," or like
That's one of the reasons why people who write crossover books, especially for their first novel, have a really hard time getting published.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
really like sticking to genre conventions at the beginning of your writing
Hmm.
career often gives you a little bit of momentum and will like sell your book.
Yeah, that's also why, you have some people who get like, for example, they get like their first book that is actually published is not actually their first book, right? And they end up
Yeah, they
having
get
like
their
their
heart
second
book
book is actually the
out of
book that they
themselves
wrote
first.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And some people do return back to those previous books to
Hmm.
actually, like, and
Hmm.
work on them more and kind of reimagine
Yep.
them in order to publish later. That's super common too. It doesn't mean that those books can never be successful.
No.
It just
No.
they're just harder to sell.
Yeah.
They're harder to explain to people. If you can't give like a one sentence elevator pitch, it's hard. It's a hard sell for a new author. Yeah. And on that note, shall we dive into
We
a
shall.
sprint?
We shall. I
I'm
want to
going to
finish
pull
this
up
big.
the timer.
I want to finish
Atlas is
this.
insisting on being a little bit annoying tonight. I'm not sure what's happening. The reason why I'm like leaning so far forward towards the camera is that Atlas is sitting on the ground in front of me and will not like come up to cuddle, but also is upset if I do not constantly touch him. So we're having just a little bit of a
Struggle.
day. Yes, we're struggling on the. I'm trying to pick a color for us today. Oh, this color is pretty.
Hmm.
We've probably used this one before, but I like it. Okay.
I'm letting you do all the work every time, so let me know one day if you
Oh,
want me
it's
to
not.
handle the kitty.
This is not that much work. No, no, no. We are just fine. 45 for this first one?
Yep, yep. I probably
Okay.
need two 45-minute sprints, to be honest.
Yeah, let me glance
It's the
at
type
my
of book
audiobook
I
here.
will be upset because we'll start to have a lot of reveals and a lot of action-packed ending, so I will be very upset if I don't finish within a sprint.
I actually think two 45-minute sprints will be perfect for me to finish too. And before we got on stream, I was making fun of Clementine for her listening speed. I was like, wow, 2.6 is kind of fast for that big fantasy novel, Clementine. And I just pulled mine up and I forgot that I had sped it up earlier because I was getting a little bored. And mine's at 2.55 right now. So,
You know,
we're just fine.
some narrators also they are speaking faster than
They just speak a
others,
little bit
right?
slower, faster. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not directly comparable. I just
Yeah, yeah.
laughed at myself. That's all. Um, all right. And Michelle, hi. It's so good to see you. Michelle's here in the chat. I think she's having a cat issue, similarly to me having my dog issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, everyone. Let's go ahead and hit start. I will see you guys in 45 minutes. Good luck. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's up?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm only 30 pages until the end, and things are happening.
Same.
And I'm like gasping. Like,
I'm not gasping because everything that's happening, I totally predicted like 30 minutes into the book.
mm,
Um, so it's a very predictable plot line.
yeah, mine I could not have. Like, it's other information and stuff, and like it's so complicated. It's not. Um, yeah, yeah. Also,
That's good
like,
though.
essentially in this book, like, especially in this book, all characters are slowly kind of dying, but kind of not. So they're in a weird kind of state, like comatose state. And they're all getting getting to the point that there's not going to be any left, and I don't know how they're supposed to win. But also, there's another book, so yeah.
Yes, you still have lots to read, which is the good part. I
Well, I mean,
yeah,
lots. The last book is actually the lead. I think the smallest of the series, which is kind of interesting.
sorry, when you turn your head back to face the bookshelf, sometimes it's harder for me to
Uh,
hear what you're saying.
I get it. Yeah, the last book is like the smallest book in the series, although it's still like 494 pages, right? So
That's cool though.
it's like 5
That's
pages
not something I
less.
see very often.
Yeah, I know. I think the biggest book is actually the middle book, the third one. The third
Mm,
one is the biggest one. So,
gotcha.
yep.
Yeah, I just hit 88% on mine. If we do another 45-minute sprint, I'll like perfectly finish it inside of the 45 minutes. Um, so yeah, I feel accomplished. Michelle is reading 12 Years a Slave. That's a heavy one.
Yeah,
Um, reading now.
it is. I will also finish next sprint because I have like an hour 30 minutes on the audiobook, 6%, and with my listening speed I will finish before the end of the next one, so yay.
Nice.
But I don't know what I
Excited.
will do with myself because I know the cliffhanger already for book 3 was terrible, and I know for this one is going to be worse.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway.
Michelle's going to try to crochet during the
Mm.
next sprint, which is nice. I haven't finished my embroidery. And so the scarf that I was knitting, I still want to finish it. It's just the decreases I'm really struggling with. Like every decrease
Oh.
I do wrong, like twice
Uh-huh.
before I can do it right. And it's such a struggle. And I don't know why, because I think I'm doing the same thing every time, but obviously I'm making a mistake.
Sure.
But yeah, it just means that
Uh-huh.
I have to fix it over and over again. And sometimes the best way to fix it is just to go back an additional row and like re-knit so that I can get to the same place and try again.
Mhm.
And I'm just finding it to be very frustrating. But also I know that if I put it down for a long period of time, that's not going to be a solution either.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
then I'll just forget everything I'm doing, and that's not good. So I think my plan of attack for tonight is to let myself continue to play silly games on my phone while I listen to my audiobook for the next 45 minutes and I finish this book. Then I'm going to spend at least one sprint working on the assignment I have to do for the class that I'm in. I'm like taking a literacy class for my teacher recertification. And then after I finish that, I'll listen to some um, Black Prism and try
Sounds
to
good.
knit a little bit.
So I did
Yeah.
start learning Tunisian crochet, right? So you can see like the
Nice.
stitches like that. Except
Yeah. Do you
that
like
it's my tension is not good. If you can see, this is the beginning, and then it's starting to like like collapse.
to tighten?
Uh,
Tunisian crochet ends up very thick too, because it's like, at least in my limited experience, I was doing the Tunisian crochet knit stitch, which I know is like one of the thick and squishy ones. Um, But yeah, I imagine that the tension is challenging.
Yeah, I ordered a Tunisian hook, one of those that's like essentially like a knitting needle with a hook at the end, right? That's big enough. Because I've been using one of my, like metal hooks, but it still has like a little like kind of
The armrest.
bigger kind of thing and with the edges there. So I figured it would be easier to figure out the tension. Also to have like a longer hook that would like hold, the stitches pretty well would help. Because like if you don't know about Tunisian crochet, essentially it's like a crochet that uses like the same kind of um principle as the knitting. So you do put your stitches, you do one row in two settings. So you put the loops first all on your hook and then you work them in, right? Um
Yeah, you have more than one live stitch, which is more
exactly.
similar to knitting than it is to crochet. But the actual act of Tunisian crocheting, I did find to be more similar to crochet than it was to knitting.
Oh yeah, no, no. It's very interesting because like it's very much like crochet, but also it's a weird thing that especially in the beginning because they ask you to put the stitches in like a weird spot and that's what starts the whole process, right? So yeah. But yeah, so I had to frog the whole thing and try again. But it's making me like learn the stitch pretty well that way, I
Yeah,
guess. I'm hoping that it will help to hold the tension. Otherwise, I'll have to figure out and maybe watch other. Because I only watched like one video on YouTube to teach me how to learn like the Tunisian crochet. But maybe they probably have some like videos about the tension itself, and stuff like that. Um, yeah. So, but it's like standard crochet. Also, I used to have like terrible tension before, so.
yeah. No, I mean it's definitely it's all a process, right? I
Well, yeah,
when you look
because
back
like
at what you've done
the whole
before.
point with the crochet is and the tension is that both the yarn, the way you hold it, gives you the tension, but also with your hand, also like with your hook, right? And the problem with the Tunisian crochet is that you don't hold your hook exactly the same, obviously, because you start to have the stitches on them. So I have to relearn a little bit, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll figure it out. You'll be just fine.
Yeah, no, I will. I will. It's fun to learn like
Do you like it?
yeah, I do. I do. I think I really like the stitch itself because it makes it like for more of a, like a tight knit kind of a thing. So I think it's a nice one if you want to make like, like sweaters or thing like this. It's like a little bit better to have those kinds of things. So I do like that, and I do want to learn it better. My goal was to make like an ear warmer, right,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
With that, just a simple, like just make a simple rectangle and then, like loop it around to like turn it around so it has like a nice thing and maybe I can just crochet something in the middle to hide the stitch or something in there.
Mhm.
Anyway, shall we read again?
We
Sorry,
sh-
I'm not in a talking mood. I'm more in a reading mood because I need to finish this book.
No worries. I have officially spun myself around. Atlas has left me. Hello, are you returning? No, he's just staring up at me with his big eyes. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put our 45 minutes back on the screen. Um,
Uh-huh.
good luck, Clementine, with finishing your book. I hope that it's wonderful.
You too?
Good luck, everyone else, and we'll see you in 45 minutes.
Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So, did you finish your book?
I did. Did you finish your book?
Yes, I did.
Woo, gosh.
I can put it right here in its place.
Yes. My book was very predictable. I knew
Um,
exactly what was going on,
uh-huh.
which is not a terrible thing. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think it's fine.
Mm,
I don't think it's bad. I'm not going to like follow this author to see what she puts out next, but I think that,
uh-huh.
like, I wouldn't be like, if someone told me they were reading this book, I wouldn't be like, oh, that book's awful. Don't waste your time. I'd be like, oh, I hope you have fun.
Yeah, mine feels like a setup book, but it being the fourth book and the second to last book makes sense too, that it's a setup. But the interesting thing is that it doesn't feel like a setup for like 80% of a book. And it feels like big stakes. And then you realize, oh yeah, no. The big battle, that's the next one.
Gotcha.
But yeah. But there were certainly like big like kind of reveals and interesting like developments. I can't obviously say anything, but the development, like the whole notion of the gods and how they are,
Mm-hmm.
because they have what they call gods, but they also have god kings, and those remind me a lot of the Great Code series, because essentially they get powers linked. How much power they have is linked to how many people believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if they have more people, believing in them, that they have like obviously more powers. And it's an interesting concept also because it's also to the point that if people believe in one, like for example the goddess of love, if they believe that like this goddess is like helping them to find lust and for prostitutes, and they have like a lot of other people like praying for that part of a goddess, it will kind of remove her choices and she has to become what the people believe that she is, essentially. Which is a very interesting concept to think about, but anyway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Tell us how much you read in the sprint. If you read,
Yeah.
if you were
Made any
productive or anything.
progress? Let us know.
I'd
Atlas
love
is
to know.
still being annoying, even though I gave him a snack. He's still like
Mm-hmm.
self,
Mm-hmm.
which is what it is. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you doing all that?
But hey, I feel productive. I don't know what I'm gonna rate this book yet. Probably a 5 star, but it might be a 4.5. I don't know.
Nice. Well, Michelle made some progress. She said she got 9% further and she's woobling. Yay.
Ooh. But for others, for context, Woobles is a set of kits for crochet kind of plushies that you can make, but they're like kind of small, and they have nice videos and tutorials and
Show us
stuff.
an example, Clementine.
Sorry?
Said show us an example.
Oh, it's over there though.
So far
Fine,
away.
fine.
So challenging.
Well, I mean, now that I'm showing you an example, I can choose three because we have here the
Little
little
dinosaur.
dinosaur.
So cute. That's the one that Michelle's making, just in a different color.
Yeah.
And
Then
then,
we have
oh,
the
the strawberry. The
strawberry.
strawberry is very squishable. It's so
Yes, it's
squishable. It's
it's
so
it's probably because it's like just a ball, right? So,
yeah.
and the turtle. I like
And
the
little
turtle.
turtle. So cute.
Anyway,
So
I can put it here. Right there. I think the nice concept for the Woobles is that really like the project seems like manageable, especially like to do it like in a small amount of time. It's not like a big project, so the you see your project advancing really quickly, right? Because like right
Yeah.
now I'm working on like a dragon, and it's like more like this size, so it's like huge. So it took me like a long time to do like anything with it. Especially if you start to like learn it and you never did it and you make a mistake and you have to like to frog it and to do it again, then like, yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, you have
And the
more than
cat.
the dinosaur.
Ooh,
You
very
have a chick
fun.
and a cat. Ooh, that is cute. That's
I
cute.
can't wait to hear about your progress, Michelle.
Yeah, yeah.
Exciting. I must say, I think my brain is very focused on the fact that during this next sprint, I'm going to be doing classwork. And like all
Uh-huh.
my brain wants to do is like do the classwork and get it done. I feel very preoccupied right now,
Oh,
but
I'm sorry. I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
I mean, we can certainly, do more focused sprints today if you wanted. I
Yeah,
feel like I
think
don't want
it's
to open a new star to right now. I do want to at least start this one before I, like pick up from the jar of possibilities.
oh, yes, yes,
You know?
yes, you should. I
Uh,
agree.
so I can't fill the void with picking up from a jar. Sorry.
No, no void filling with that for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know how you're gonna feel about Elantris.
I
I'm
don't know either.
well,
To be honest, it
but
is kind of well, I really like Brendan Sanderson kind of thing because I did try Mistborn, although I tried when I was not as experienced with adult fantasy. So, um, I think I mostly wanted to
I
try
think
this
I'm
one, even
biased
if it,
because I think I'm biased because I don't like Elantris very much. So I feel like it's not really showing him at his best, which is kind of a shame. But you might like it more than me. So
yeah. I
or
mean,
you
it's
might hate it.
it's it's a friend who recommended it to me, saying that I was most likely to try this one, to like it. But I might be on it. To be honest with you, I might always think that Brandon Sanderson is okay, but not great for me. Because like while I did give Miss Bourne 5 stars, I would probably give it 4 stars nowadays with my rating probably, because like I don't have any complaints about it, right? When I read it, it was fine. Sure, it took me a long time to read it, but it was just because I was getting more into adult fantasy. But the only thing I did had is that I was feeling disconnected from everything. I didn't feel for the characters. And for me that's bad because I am character driven reader. So um and I don't think that can be changed for another series or another thing. Other people were telling me, you have to read the Stormlight Archives. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to try again with like a 1,200-page novel. No.
I mean, that one is like I think his most character driven work. So
I
I mean I
know.
can see where they're coming from on that. Personally, my favorite of his is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I really liked it. It's like a sweet little it's got like a romance subplot. Like it's very
Yeah,
cute, which
yeah,
I liked a lot.
slight caveat with that is that,
I know that you didn't like Vin and Ellen, but I
yeah.
think that this was better. Um and I also really liked Warbreaker too.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I know you have strong opinions, and that's okay. But
I'm not,
I just there are so many that like Elantris is I think my actual least favorite that I've read of
uh,
his. So like everything else feels like so much better than that. But
yeah, but we have very different opinions about books usually, so, and it's
this is
fine.
true. Maybe that means you'll love it.
Um, also it's not like I would try Elantris and then say like I will never try a Brenda Sanderson again, right? I do want to reread like Miss Bourne one day and finish the trilogy because I did like really the world and I do want to see where it goes because I really liked, obviously Brendan Sanderson's strength is really like in the magic system, and the plotting also is really good. So I do want to see where it goes, but I certainly would not like buy another book, just read off the library.
That's what the library is for. I think I hardly own any of his books. I guess I've bought some of the ones that I've read, but mostly used. Um, yeah.
Oh, this one is used. As you can see, it has like some like,
I mean, I can't tell from
yeah,
here.
here.
But
Look on the
yeah, I
cover.
think stuff like that happens even like shipping and stuff sometimes though.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
know,
no
but
worries.
I mean, you can't see from here, but it does. It is like the pages are kind of yellowed, and you can see that it has been read and well loved, which is good.
Michelle says libraries are amazing, which I tend to agree with Michelle.
They are. They are.
Absolutely.
Although I have to say thank you to Amazon and my Audible subscription because this audiobook is for free if you have Audible. It's included. So I
Is it
will.
Kramer? Is it Michael Kramer?
I'm hoping it isn't,
I'm
but
pretty sure it is because I think I had to immersion read all of it because I was having a really hard time with the audio.
yeah, but that was like the older version. I don't know if
Oh,
they
that's
stuck
true.
with the 10th
If they
anniversary
actually re-released
theme.
it, if they reproduced it, it might not be.
Let me check. No, it's not.
Oh, yay, you are lucky.
Yes. No, because like I am so annoyed at Michael Kramer's narration style. Not no shade, right? His narration is fine, right? But he has so many
It's very
fantasy that he has
dramatic.
narrated, right?
Yeah.
So many. I've already read like I had to read like two of the Wheel of Time books that were Michael Kramer, and then I had like although those are being narrated again, right, by one
Rosamund
of
Pike, I think.
yes, and then but it was still the older ones that I could find on the library, so that's the ones I got,
Hmm.
and then the James Islington, his first series was narrated by Michael Kramer, and then Miss Bourne and stuff. So the problem is like he doesn't have like he has the same narration style of Lucy for everything, and then it makes everything really the same to me. It's really sad.
Well, my problem was just how dramatic every sentence was as he was reading it. Like every sentence was this happened and then he thought this. Like I never got into the rhythm of his voice, which was my problem.
Nah, I
Um,
think it's mostly that his voice is very like a low pitch, so it does feel like it. But I didn't feel like he had a very dramatic thing. I think it's his voice that is this way. Um,
oh no, I definitely think it's his voice that is making it sound like that to me, and
yeah.
I
No,
found
no,
it to be
no.
an unpleasant reading
I do
experience.
agree. It's just that it's obviously like a narrator is like even if he's really good at making different voices, he can only make like a number of voices, right? So if he's narrating, I don't know, multiple series and multiple books and multiple things, the voices will sound similar. So for me, it was really too much.
Yeah, that doesn't super bother me. I've had that with other narrators where I'll start listening and I'll be like, no, I've heard this before. Who is
Well,
this? And then I'll like
I
go back and find other stuff that they've narrated.
yeah.
And I'm like,
So
oh, that's what it is. Yes.
I
So
mean,
it
I
doesn't
did.
usually bother me.
It usually doesn't, but I think it's because also Michael Kramer style. I'm not like a super huge fan, so it did
It's
bother
very
me.
distinct. Yeah.
Um,
And lots of people love his stuff. So this is not really shade to
yeah,
Michael
no,
Cooper.
no,
It's
no.
more of like a
I mean, it.
preference situation.
I think an audiobook is like is like a writing style, right? It's what's gonna work for you or not. And like some people really love the dramatized adaptation. I can't. It puts me too much out of the story. Or like when there's too many points of views and they put like a full cast narration. The problem I have with those is that usually like they don't have the same speed at which they read, or even sometimes if they have an issue with the production, the even the sound will be different, like the level of volume, so you have to change the volume every single like chapter. I had this problem. It was the Five Broken Blades that was published last year. That was a fantasy romance, right? But it had like five or
That just
six
sounds like a
different.
poor production.
Yeah, I think there were issues. I think they mostly probably like were trying to do all this and quickly, and they didn't do enough passes, right? Because like the problem is like the chapters were really short, which is really good when you read physically, but with the audio, if you keep changing with narrators that have different volumes and different speeds, then it's just no, you can't.
The
And I
volume thing would bug me. The
yeah,
speeds I tend not to notice as much, like the changing speeds, unless it's
they
getting
do.
like really, really slow. And then I'll just hike it up and then keep it fast. Is my general
I
pattern.
can't because like the problem is like I especially if I start to read only via audio, I need to have a consistent speed because otherwise I don't understand. It's and if I bump up then it's too fast for some of them then after that, right? So it really bothers me if I is if it's a little bit of a difference then it's fine. Or if it's only two narrators and the chapters are longer, then it's okay. But if they're like 2 to 4 pages each time and it's like 5, 10 minutes, and every 5, 10 minutes I have to change it, it's buggering. But and I didn't care enough about the book. I did DNF that one because like I didn't care enough about the book to read it only physically. I was like, I really don't see where it's going. I really don't like it. I really like that's
I
fine.
mean, it sounds like it was a mix of the audiobook
Yeah,
and
no,
the
it's
actual
not
text
only
of
the
the book.
audiobook for sure, but I did see problems with the audiobook that I wanted to, note.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that was bothered by this,
No, that's fair.
the speeds and the stuff. But
Yeah. That being said, shall we hop in to sprints?
yes, we should because we've been talking for a long time. Sorry, and you have
Awesome.
work to do.
Cool. We're going to go ahead and click to start, 45 minutes on the clock. I'm going to immediately disappear so that I can pull my computer super close to me and like type. Um, and yeah, hopefully we can get this thing done. All right. Good luck, y'all.
Welcome back. Please let us know in the chat how much you
I forgot
read.
it was muted.
We'd love to know. Hi, Angela. How productive were you?
I am like 2 minutes away from finishing this
Ouch.
little mini essay. I it's like a 500 to 700 word situation, which is so short. So I was like really trying to be concise, and then I like plugged my little writing into a word counter, and it was under 500 words, and I was like, "Dang it, no!"
Yeah, that happens to me
So
a
I'm just
lot.
adding a little
That
bit
happens to
more.
me a lot because I tend to be very concise and then it's like under. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not a huge problem.
No.
It's actually a really cool topic that I'm writing about. It's the funds of knowledge teaching approach, which is kind of valuing all of the life experiences of your kids, especially for like non-English speaking students. And like instead of looking at what they can't do, looking at what they can do, like using an assets-based approach. Anyway, all of these things are very good and positive, and I definitely have a few more sentences in me. But yeah, I'm like this far away from finishing, which I'm very happy about.
Cool.
Thanks.
I did
So,
read some
how
of
was your
Elantris.
progress?
I did read some of Elantris, nearly
Okay.
3 chapters in the prologue, which is just like one page, right? Uh, obviously, I mean the beginning also there's like a foreword and whatever, so like the actual book starts at like page 20. So I
Yeah.
reached like page 59, but it doesn't, tell you.
Yeah. That one may or may not have a novella at the back of it too.
I think it
Um,
does.
yeah,
Um, it might be one of the novellas that is part of Arcanum Unbounded,
I
or
think it is. Yes.
it's called Ars
Is it Hope of
Arcanum.
Lunch? What is it?
Ars, no, it's not. Wait. No, it's just deleted scenes, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the Ars Arcanum, which is just the appendix, right?
Yes.
With the symbols and the stuff
Yep.
um, about the magic and the symbols. And after, yeah, it's deleted scenes, which I don't know. I don't think I'm that interested in deleted scenes, but I don't know. Anyway,
Yep. Uh, and what do you think?
uh I'm too I'm not enough into it. It's an epic high fantasy. I with 3 chapters I have 3 different points of views. You know, and I'm kind of sad because I would like to stay more with those characters because I barely start to understand things when I'm, like from somewhere else. Um I yeah,
You
it's
met all the people now. It's only those three. So you just keep going
okay.
around with those three. Yeah.
Good. Good. Because I was gonna say if there's like a lot more than 3, it starts to be a bit too much. But I had a feeling that it was not gonna be that many more. Um, I would say I'm very intrigued about the curse thing that, like the people in Elantris, and they're like, like how they used to become gods with the what is it, the Shead is called? The event that would transform it as God, and like 10 years ago something happened. We don't know. That now it's a curse and not a thing, and
It's
they're
so fun to know the answers to all of your questions. It's such a good
yeah, I
time.
know.
I will say, I think it's absolutely a strength of Brandon Sanderson's that I read Elantris 3 years ago, and I remember all of this like that. Like I remember the not maybe not every little piece, but like I remember the answers to the questions that you're expressing right now. So that's kind of fun. I enjoy that.
Yeah. Yep. So it's interesting. I'm expecting right now I don't feel like, any like connection to anything, but like I'm not expecting that. I think it's the writing style. The writing style is very approachable, but also very far from things for me. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
what one
I
of the points
never,
of view we're following is like we're following this prince who just went to Elantris, right?
uh-huh.
We're following then like his fiance slash, now like wife, who is just arriving, realizing, oh, people tell her that he's dead. He's obviously dead, but not dead. Um, and so this point of view is kind of weird because like you're just led to believe that she was looking forward to this marriage of convenience and maybe thinking that, oh, she could, like, and everything, but it's not like you feel any that she feels anything, like that she feels really sad or anything like that. So um I guess, it's I
well, for context, she didn't, for anyone listening, she didn't know him before they got engaged. They had never met. It was like an arranged marriage situation.
no, I'm
I guess
not
they had written
saying
letters.
I'm not
Sorry.
okay. I'm not saying that she would like feel like a loss of her husband because obviously she never met him, but she would definitely feel like the loss of like not because like it was her last kind of attempt, at like having someone and loving someone and she was they do tell you like she was excited to go there and everything
Yeah.
more than stressed, but like all those things are told to me and I don't see them and I'm a little bit sad, right? I don't, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
I think the character I liked the least, but I think was written the most viscerally, is the religious zealot that we hate. Yeah.
Yeah, he is interesting to follow because like it's like I'm feeling that the plot, like whatever plot is brewing in the kingdom right now is like gonna be like handled a lot by him at some point. At least for now, he's the one like forwarding like whatever plot will be going forward for me. So like I'm interested to follow him for that. Um he's a religious zealot, so of course I'm not gonna like him, but you know,
Yeah.
that's okay. Um,
No, he's pretty miserable.
I mean, to be fair, I knew that there was like the religious aspect in this book and everything that
Yeah,
um
no, I mean, just the fact that there's religion isn't a bad thing. And I think the fact that he's a religious zealot is not
no,
really a strike against the book. It's just that, yeah, I mean, he's there to be hated for sure.
yeah,
And
but
despised.
it is certainly it could be like um I can understand why it's a difficult, like it's a difficult one to read from, and to follow.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
annoying that he's a point of view character because you can't really get away from it. He's just like always there. You always like a back to him.
yeah,
He's always
yeah,
almost next. So.
yeah, yeah. So yes, I suspect that I will have to force myself to read this book, but yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm reading it because I've had it for a while in on my shelves. So um,
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to hop right back into reading or do you want to chat a little bit more? Michelle made it 10% further through her book. Woo. Good job,
nice,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Nice word.
Good. Well, I mean, since you only have like a couple minutes in your essay, I don't want you to forget things and stuff. So let's just hop onto a sprint. Um, it probably is the last sprint for me, focusing on Elantris. We can do other sprints, but I would go to like an easier book.
Yeah, I'm honestly feeling, and I think this is like maybe generally the vibe. I'm feeling a little bit tired tonight.
Mm,
Um, I'm wondering if maybe
me too.
we want to just make this the last one.
Yeah, might be good to make it the last one because like I don't know why today I'm very tired.
No worries. No worries. All right. So I'm going to put the screen back up. We've got 45 minutes
Mm.
on the clock. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy your last 45.
Good luck.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Sorry, I've been like slowly, you know, falling down in my.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like this for some of my reading during this. uh, so how's the book?
Well, I mean, it's still continuing. I mean, I read 3 more chapters, so like I'm back, and I was reading again with the same POV, so I've read at least like twice from the same POVs. Um, I mean, I have the same complaints that I'm not like feeling as connected to anything. I think the most interesting POV for me is really like the person who is in Elantris, honestly. Um, and like as much as like the politics can be a little bit interesting, with the princess, I mean, it's not right now, it's not as compelling, obviously. Although we have
Right.
seen already, like the princess has seen the high priest, the Silos priest. So we have the two that are connected already. But yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
I
Survived.
finished my assignment. Woo! Success.
Woo!
Finished, submitted, good to go.
That is nice.
Um, yep. And I listened just a little bit to some more of the Black Prism,
Hmm.
which I don't remember how far I got during our last sprints. I know I listened to some of it outside of sprints. Right now I'm at 56%, which is pretty
Nice.
good. It's a pretty
Nice.
lengthy book. So
Nice.
I'm happy with that. And yeah, I think I'm just pledging myself that I'll chip away at it during sprints for sure. And if I'm also reading it outside of that, that's awesome. But I'm not going to try to
Hmm.
force myself if I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, Audible doesn't give percentages, but I only read this much compared to this.
Yeah.
I'm at like 94 pages, so I still made
That's
some
pretty good for a
progress.
night's reading though. Yeah, that's progress for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I
Michelle is at
don't.
88% of hers, which
Ooh,
is
that
pretty
is
exciting.
nice.
If only we had the energy to do one more sprint, we would
I know.
probably let Michelle finish her book or get really close.
I know.
But
I
that's
feel so
okay.
bad for Michelle, but I can't focus on this book
No,
anymore.
we're abandoning Michelle. We're sorry, Michelle.
Yeah.
We love you.
Same for me. I mean, for this book, I don't know if I will read it this week because I do have other books that I want to read. I have two buddy
Yeah.
reads currently, so yep. And so we'll see, but
Yeah,
I
you've got
will I
lots of
will
stuff
chip
on your
away at
plate.
it during those sprints, next week if I don't. But I do feel like this is one that I could follow easily also via audiobook only, which, could be
Mhm.
like when I do other things or when I on my car or other stuff like that. So possibly.
Yeah. Michelle, I must be honest, I don't know what your comment means. The author of the book that you're reading, the character. Okay, the character in the book that you're
Character,
reading.
probably. Yep.
Yeah,
I also have
I
zero energy left because I also didn't understand the comments.
no, I just don't think she provided us with enough context the first time round, but then she added some more and that was helpful. Yeah, Michelle, I mean that's I think a given when you're reading a story like that. So Michelle says she wouldn't have survived. And I think that that's um yeah, yeah, a given. It was
Mm,
horrific, right? Um so
yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
anyway, why don't we'll call it here.
Yeah.
The
I feel
plan
like we've been
is
pretty
to
low energy today, and I apologize for everyone.
I agree. I'm honestly not sure how long Mondays might persist for us. I feel
Hmm.
like Mondays might just like not be the vibe.
Yeah.
Um, we'll have to see whether this continues to work for us. But tentatively, next Monday, Monday the 10th, we'll be back here sprinting again. Yeah, see you all soon.
Bye.